Cause he said it to me and Murder, and I'm sitting there analyzing it like, damn, this nigga wanted some bread, or maybe he spent all the bread because he made a couple of million with 5. My whole thing is, maybe the relationship would be good as if you saved some money for your pops when he came home, but I understand how it is to be a young black man with money, and you don't make the right decisions.
I've seen a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross for this. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross is your fault.
Big Meech believed he had finally set himself on the right path, ready to make a legendary return. But instead of a grand comeback, he found himself caught in a mess, one that Rick Ross might be responsible for. At first, Rick Ross acted like he had Meech's back, flashing cash and hyping up his return. But when it mattered most, that supposed support vanished. The big comeback concert? Canceled. That $1 million deal with 50 Cent? Gone. And Rick Ross? He simply moved on, focusing on himself.
No, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
Now fans are left wondering, did Rick Ross set Meech up for failure? And can Meech recover from this setback? Let's break it all down.
I said Rick Ross is not being a friend to Meech. He knew what that was going to bring.
That's selfish.
After finally securing his release from prison, Big Meech likely thought he could slide right back into the game as if nothing had changed. But reality hit hard. The streets weren't the same, and he was about to learn that the hard way. One of his first major moves was linking up with Rick Ross, who wasted no time showing off wealth and influence. Now, some might question why Meech, once the leader of a multi-million-dollar empire with the BMF deal under 50 Cent, would even entertain the idea of taking handouts. The truth? He had already blown through his fortune.
Money.
Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Little Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail. Now we know Rick Ross has this song where he's like, I think I'm Big Meech. Oh. Larry Hoover, and that's the Big Meech that gets portrayed by Little Meech on the TV show BMF Power, produced by 50 Cent. And it's ironic, right? I mean, it'd be kind of easy to see why the real Big Meech would like that song by Ross, but if 50 Cent gives your family, you know, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And you know, before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people, he's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Little Meech got $5 million and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with this Rick Ross thing. I don't think Rick Ross even gave him $1 million for whatever they did. It was a picture, it was an event. I doubt it was $1 million. I doubt it was $500,000. I doubt it was $200,000. I think it was $100,000 or less, whatever Big Meech did for Ross, and he sold his relationship with 50 for a $100,000 picture, basically.
Desperate for a fresh start, Meech was willing to turn his back on 50 Cent for a shot at financial stability with Rick Ross. In fact, he was so strapped for cash that he was even waiting on his son, Lil Meech, to come through with stacks of money. But Lil Meech wasn't in a much better position.
When we go to your crib and me and Murder sitting in the backyard and you like, yo, little baby ain't give me no money. He came in a Ferrari truck, he had the Ferrari truck, he had 4 pockets full. I'm looking at this like, yo, this tripping. Like, little baby he's not obligated to give you nothing. I looked at it like, from that point, maybe 50 should have brung a bag for Meech and maybe a watch or something. Cause obviously that's what Ross did or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I had in mind. Cause he said it to me and Murder and I'm sitting there analyzing it like, damn, this nigga wanted some bread, or maybe he spent all the bread because he made a couple of million with 5. My whole thing is, maybe the relationship would be good as if you saved some money for your pops when he came home, but I understand how it is to be a young black man with money, and you don't make the right decisions.
With funds running low, things weren't looking good for the Meech family, and Rick Ross saw an opportunity. He positioned himself as a savior, claiming he'd help Meech get back on his feet. When 50 Cent was coming down hard on Meech, Ross stepped in, talking big and making promises. but none of that materialized.
Your car at, now where your yacht at? Where your plane at? Where your fish at? Life could sometimes be like real estate, baby. You might have to knock everything down, build it back up, and get it to the value you need it to be. Took a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe. Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
Yeah, like business is business. A part of me understands a part of that. I do understand that.
Well, they always say there's no permanent friends and enemies in business, just permanent interests.
Yeah, because this is the thing. I understand that 50 got, the ongoing beef with the people and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? But it seems like their transaction is just business.
Part of the grand comeback plan revolved around securing serious money, and Ross figured the fastest way was through a benefit concert. With backing from XO Touring and AG Touring, the event was supposed to feature major artists celebrating Meech's return. Ross went all out promoting it, hyping it up as a game-changing event.
February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose. Now,
However, just hours before the concert, Big Meech was hit with a crushing blow. Amarin Bank Arena announced that, due to unforeseen circumstances, the show was canceled, with refunds available at the point of purchase. The sudden cancellation immediately sparked speculation. Many assumed 50 Cent had a hand in it, especially given rumors that he had worked behind the scenes to blacklist both Big Meech and Rick Ross. Wack 100 was convinced that's exactly what happened.
What went down?
I don't remember when they asked me, Wack, what you think about the concert? I said, I think it's too early for dude to even be playing with anything. You need to just kick back. I said it's too early. You don't need to be doing nothing. You eliminate that, ain't none of on in his life right now. It's too early. I said it. When they said, yo, I said, yeah, too early. For him to be doing any of that, he need to just lay back, focus on TV, get his business right with 50. He don't need to be for none of that shit. I said, but I understand why he's doing it, because he's infatuated with that rap. He always wanted to do it. He was never successful at doing it. If you eliminate him doing this, there's no him standing with Rick Ross. There's no 50 tripping. None of it. There's no exposing coming. None of this happened.
Meanwhile, 50 Cent wasted no time capitalizing on the moment. He posted an image of the cancellation news with a sarcastic caption. "I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am." He even shared a video where someone discussed Lil Baby and other artists backing out of the event.
Out of the gig.
I'm hearing already some people is pulling out of that concert. Yeah, on February 13th, that Big Meech was having. You heard? I know Little Baby ain't performing, right? Yeah, he said he ain't f***ing with Gunna no more because Gunna a rat. I know he ain't performing that Big Meech. Yeah, 50 on the internet calling this a rat. Talking about Tammy Cowan. This shit didn't grew some legs. Yeah, from when we was on the internet a few months ago talking about, yo, how Cuffy get indicted, how the Migo get indicted, and Meech ain't get indicted, blah, blah, blah. That shit done grew some legs since then. Yeah, because if Tammy then told 50 and... Yo, 50, let me narrate this shit, B. Let me narrate this. Let's get to that. Yeah, New York, nigga, let's get to that. Yeah, who's going to this concert? I said I want to. Who's going to this concert still? Yeah. What's really going on out here? Let's get to that.
Caption, 50 mocked the situation further, suggesting that despite appearing wealthy, Lil Baby gave nothing to Meech. With that, Big Meech lost what could have been his big break. Now people are wondering how he's handling it and what's next. But the real question is, what happened to Rick Ross's big promises? Turns out Rick Ross walked away. When the concert got canceled, Ross barely acknowledged it, dropping a brief 5-second comment before.
Boss Ricky Rose just got word. Meech concert not happening tonight, but 3:05, it's going down at the office. Meet us there. Bam.
Immediately shifting focus to promoting his own events. His lack of concern didn't go unnoticed, and fans found it downright disrespectful, especially considering he was the one who disrupted Meech's relationship with 50 Cent.
Already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
Had Ross not interfered, Meech might have still had the financial backing from 50 Cent instead of needing a failed concert to survive. To be fair, many people saw this coming. Rick Ross was never really a solid ally, and plenty of fans online warned Meech about trusting him. Even Whack 100 called it out.
Seen a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross, it's your fault. So I'ma do it. Yo, Rick Ross, this is your fault. You the reason why Big Meech is going through this there right now, you heard? Because when we was on the internet talking about the Cuffy case and all that, nobody even really gave a f. But now 50 talking about that, and everybody listening. Everybody listening, you heard? So, I just want to say, or I want to ask you, did you think that shit was a good idea in hindsight? Do you think it was a good idea to be in the video with me talking about Sexy Red?
Sexy Red.
Yeah, you think that was a good idea? Also, how you let that get the show canceled in Florida, B? That's kind of diabolical, you heard? 50, that's some bull. How you let that get the show canceled in Florida? Let's get to that.
And going back to 50 Cent, that's no longer an option.
I said Rick Ross is not being a friend to Meech. He knew what that was going to bring.
That's selfish.
That was a selfish act.
That was selfish. He was trying to show he could control Big Meech to 50. In turn, Big Meech.
Now, what you doing? What you doing now? Now the after party y'all had at the office, that's canceled. 50 telling everybody go to Poopy Trap. Office didn't cancel. Looking crazy, so
Draw.
That Meech is sitting back saying, hey, I ain't even asked you to come. I didn't even realize it. Now I'm in there, and I didn't. My TV movie should to get exposed and reputation, and then son off too. Crazy.
Horrible move, man. I don't know how you come back from this.
50 Cent made it clear he has no plans to continue the BMF series. In a now deleted Instagram post, he even shared private messages from Lil Meech. In the messages, Lil Meech expressed frustration, saying, "They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram. Now you're managing Skilla Baby when I introduced him to you first. You're mad at me when I would give you the shirt off my back? I can't believe this, man. I've only shown you love and loyalty." Lil Meech also addressed his father's connection to Rick Ross, saying it was strictly financial. "Screw Rick Ross, but he gave my dad some money so he could pay his bills until the next season starts." 50 Cent, however, didn't hold back in his response. He replied, "What next season, Lil Ninja?" making it clear there was no going back. To drive the point home, 50 even mocked Big Meech's financial struggles, sharing a GoFundMe page with a caption suggesting Meech needed help paying for his $30,000 a month Airbnb. While Rick Ross initially gave Meech hope, his actions proved otherwise. He later posted on Instagram about his vision for a real BMF movie, suggesting big-name directors like Antoine Fuqua or Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, so look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small-budget series. Now it's time to do a big-budget film.
But fans aren't buying it. If Ross couldn't even pull off a single concert, how can he be trusted with a full-scale movie? And the worst part, Big Meech isn't the only one affected. His entire family suffered from the fallout of his decisions. With executive producer credits on the BMF show, Meech's family had financial security. But in chasing a new opportunity, he jeopardized everything. And let's be honest, Meech has always prioritized money over loyalty. If you followed his story, you know he has aligned himself with whoever could provide financial gain, even if it meant turning on those closest to him. That's the key difference between him and 50 Cent. While 50 values loyalty to his people, Meech is loyal to the money. Yet instead of acknowledging his mistakes, Meech is shifting blame to Rick Ross. But even if Meech didn't see this coming, Ross certainly did.
Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to. And if he was a real friend to Meech, unless he was looking to get 50 out the way, he would have dealt with Meech in the shadows, because he knows me and this dude who is gonna react if he sees me dealing with this dude that he has business with. And there was a lot of business left to be done, right? Rick Ross, bro, could have done whatever he was gonna do in the shadows if he really honored and
What do you think? Can Big Meech recover from this, or will he make Rick Ross pay for leaving him stranded? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our next video.